Oh, I've got that. Oh, I'm trying to make you one up.
As we go along. Yeah.
Okay, I'll be here.
Oh, thank you. I opened all my letters from the city looking for this. They're all-
Yeah,
they're all-
it wasn't made yet.
No, they're all bills.
Okay, I'm gonna change this from office to there.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Because I want to introduce Mark Scoop first.
Okay.
And then we'll take a report and I'll see what he's doing. Stuff like that. And then I would, I'm gonna move that other up to, number 3. A, and then number 3B will be old business. And then under new business, Mark. So number 3A. Talks about operation. Robert, we're going to go 3A, which is going to be kind of an operations type report. We will have an SL report from the high school, report from GRA, local, and then anything that Joe might want to report on. And then we'll go into old business, which will be the cable TV franchise.
Thank you.
So, it is 1:02, I guess. 1:01. So we'll call this meeting to order. First thing on the agenda, or do I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
Make a motion to accept the agenda as needed.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, so then we're gonna start with operations, and the first person I want to introduce is the new operator of the Channel 180 on GRA, and that's Mark Sloop. And Mark, you're gonna have some comments about what's been going on this last week, which is, well, we'll hear from Mark.
Ready?
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, everyone, my name is Mark Sloop, and I'm the new station manager here. I began last Monday. And it's been a rough transition at this point for getting up to speed on all the programming, producing the new programming to go on there, because the extremely limited time I had to meet with Chris and get any training from him. He was only here for a couple hours, and then he's gone. So it's a struggle. We've got, I've got someone coming in, hopefully tomorrow night, that's going to take me through the steps on the cable cast system, so we can keep putting the church shows, city council meetings, county board meetings, and any other programming that goes on the air is going to keep going on the air as it should. It's just right now we're in that difficult transition with having a lack of training. You know, it would have been nice if he could have spent another week here. We could be working together to make this transition more smooth, but that's the way it turned out. So we're working through it, and I would say within the next week, all this will be in the past. Yes, I've been talking with Heather Jorgensen. She was the one who, in the past, when Jerry was station manager, she was doing all the what we call carousel, all the character-generated community advertising or community announcements that go on the air. We're bringing her back into the fold. Nice person, and I think she's going to do most of this work remotely from her home. As I get news releases, I'll forward them to her so she can stay on those and keep them all up to date. And I think she was saying it might take her just a couple hours a week is really all it's going to entail for her to her part of the job. Might be a little more at the beginning here as she gets caught up with some of these announcements, getting one there, but once and also once she gets all her contacts, know that she's in charge of this again, they'll be sending all the news releases, press releases to her rather than directly to the station. And I think that'll be a more efficient way of doing everything.
And then we'll go around and introduce ourselves with the cable board first. Start with Mark.
Norm Sandberg?
Get the names so I can put names. Okay. Okay. Okay.
Al Hensel.
Yeah, okay.
And I'm Blake Hanson.
Okay.
Portland City Council.
And
And I'm John Odemeyer.
oh, you look familiar?
Yeah.
Is that the correct spelling?
Nope. No H.
Hunter,
Oh, okay. Okay.
anybody have any questions of Mark? We got two Marks in here.
Yeah.
Our fiscal describes policy announcement on the use cable cast in the school. The appearance is actually should be on there. It's on the website.
Yeah, I actually tried to reach out to him and they're gonna be gone, but I got Jesse Gutzinger. He's gonna come in tomorrow night. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I hear. So he'll be an asset for me because
Yeah.
I just can't say enough. Once I get this done, he's going to have my deepest gratitude.
Yeah.
Jesse's expertise is in broadcaster and
Okay. How is he with the cable cast system?
I don't know how much it's
I don't.
Okay.
cast.
There's also with our TriCasters, the one that Chris had been using, had a video card go on there. And the units are so old that they're not supported by the company anymore. What we may end up doing is having to get a new TriCaster. Yeah, and I think these are all SD, and I think we need to move ahead with the times to get the HD TriCasters, because that's how all our equipment is going to be used for filming is going to be all HD. It should improve the overall quality of both on the TV as well.
May I make a request? I can't hear what Mark just said because of the system going.
Can I turn that?
Or maybe if you just speak a little louder so I can hear it.
Or do you want me to? Yeah. You can just shut it off.
Thank you. Well, I can hear if you're like I could hear you remotely, but
Yeah.
when they're facing that way, I can't hear anything.
Yeah, it is hard.
That should be better.
Yeah,
That will really improve things.
yeah.
Okay, thanks, Mark. We'll be looking to updates from that then. And keep our sheet real tight, we'll keep our email addresses on before we leave. Everybody
Okay.
gets their email address. So he can email us for reminding us for the next meetings and stuff. And Wendy will be working with you through that.
Okay, yeah, I talked briefly with her today.
And she kind of didn't know if she was supposed to contact us, cable board members, or if you would be contacting the cable board members. And I told her that in the past, Jared Abraham would do that. I said, but Chris wasn't very good at doing that, so then she did it for a little bit. But I think it would work better if you did it.
Heather always did it.
Well, Heather did it through Jared.
Just have Heather.
That was gonna be one of my questions, because I found out about this meeting about an hour and a half ago, so I said, and that was my question, who does that? Who is supposed to be the communicator? So we can be clear, so that Mark and I, we can make sure that this is better.
Let's settle on that
Yeah,
At this
right
stage.
now, that would be
Right now.
great. How you wanna handle it is fine, but let's just make a decision and then we'll stick to it.
I'd like to make a comment and a suggestion. It's a city meeting. It's, I think by law, has to be called by the city.
They will call a meeting and post it, yes. But we will let them know the times that we're gonna have it.
But what you're talking about before, that Jerry Abraham was doing something that wasn't
No,
his
he just scheduled
responsibility.
Reminding of the
He
meeting.
just would remind us when the meetings were scheduled, because we were doing them on a quarterly basis. It was the third Wednesday of every
Yes.
fourth month.
Yep, and then now we're modifying it to, because Wednesday isn't a good time for you or a couple others, so we're trying to get moved to this Monday, the second
Yeah.
Monday.
So
Second
most of them
day.
will be on Monday at 1 o'clock, and it will be on a quarterly basis. We'll figure out which Monday of each month would work for best for everybody.
But shouldn't that reminder come from the city clerk?
What does it matter? But
It will be
It's in-
posted by the
It's in
city clerk.
It's in the posting of public meetings, yeah, period.
Yeah, it's in the posting of public meetings. But I'm just talking about emails that come to us, cable board members, reminding us that the second Monday would be the third Monday would be the
Sure.
Monday for the meeting of that particular month.
So before the meeting, Mark, can you send out everybody a reminder email of that? And I believe Chris was expected to put the agenda together for that meeting, so if we can do the agenda, then that's all right,
Makes
so.
sense.
Okay. Okay?
Okay, any other comments on that? Okay, then, Mark, deal on, just a report on the programming at the high school and what's been going around with Channel 181.
Well, it's summer, so we don't have much
Let's
new
speak up a little
program.
bit more.
We don't have a lot of new programming going out right now. It's a lot of replays. I believe there was a basketball game from the 1970s that aired on Friday evening while I was working. But there's a lot of old content and new content airing right now as we're in this kind of summer phase. We are gearing up, recruiting new students to be a part of our production club, and we're excited about who might be coming on board. We lost, I believe, 2 to graduation last year, so we're looking to replace them, but they were heavily involved in a lot of the productions that we put together, so that's where we're currently at, and what we're currently up to. You want me to do this too?
Okay, let's, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so, I've been in communication with John about, getting some additional equipment for the school. I'm gonna pass around, 2 quotes that we received. I think you're aware that, we have the ability to, do some, live broadcasts from some remote facilities, so we don't have to be at the school to do the broadcast. So we can do a football game, we can do a hockey, baseball, softball, soccer, cross country, what have you. But the time to set all that up has gotten to be really intensive because we have to dismantle an existing unit that we use within the buildings and then move that all back outside, hook everything back up, and then when we're done with the broadcast, dismantle it all again, move it all back inside. And so what we're proposing, what you have in front of you, is a couple of quotes for what's called a TriCaster Mini that we could permanently mount within our mobile production trailer and cut down on a lot of our setup time. The other piece to this is that the system that we currently use is not a TriCaster system at all. It's called the ATEM Studio. So we have to train our students on a completely new method of doing graphics and titling and switching and everything else. And so we'd like to try to be consistent with what we're doing. And so we I contacted both Z Systems and ABS and asked them to provide us with a quote for the menu, to let us do what we need to do, and so that's what you have there before you. So what we're looking for is, we would like to submit this to the city council for their approval at the meeting on 15th, is that right, next Monday?
Yep.
And so, I believe what they just need is your recommendation to approve such a purchase.
Yeah, so I believe we talked about this, sort of funds for the cable, or the cable TV funding. When the franchise agreement was originally set up, there was a grant, $25,000 grant fund from Charter for the franchise, and then every month, 50 cents on a subscriber's cable bill is paid towards the PEG channels. It's called the PEG fee. That's the public, educational, and government channels. So we collect that money every month, and then that gets into the cable TV fund. So some of those funds are redistributed back to the schools and back to GRA for the operations, and then the city holds a little bit extra as administrative costs, or in times when there's a large capital purchase, the request can be made to the city, and we can help fund that capital purchase for future improvements. So we currently have, I believe, $61,000 in that account right now, so there would be funding available to do this capital improvement if it was recommended from the board and approved by the council.
Does the high school have any recommendation for which ones we want to get it from, the system or the ABS?
Well, we have a long-standing partnership, relationship with ABS, so we would prefer to go that route.
And it's cheapest to quote.
It's the cheaper quote.
But it gives you a 3-year warranty, or the other ones give you a 1-year.
Actually, they both are 3 years. They word it differently, but when you go through the quotes and you add up, on the Z System one, they have
Oh, I see that,
a 1-year or a 2-year hardware warranty there, and the 1 year at the bottom. So they're doing 3 years, both of them. And that was one where, when I sent out the requirements for what we wanted, it was that system, a 3-year warranty with one smaller display.
So you're acquainted with the ABS people more than you are the other people?
Yep.
But get better support with that.
With ABS?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The Z Systems, they've been around for a while. I've talked with them now a little bit. They have been around. They probably will be a company that's going to be helping us with our cable cast system and our carousel system moving forward.
The Z system?
The Z System company. Yeah. Because some changes at ABS with the staff that used to know how to support the tightrope system, that individual has left that company, and so we're going to have to look for a new partner. So whether that becomes Z Systems or it becomes Marco or it becomes somebody else, I don't know who that would be, but it's potential that it could be that Z Systems. But if you're asking me who I'd like to work with right now, I'd rather work with ABS. Because I've got a good relationship with them.
So that would be a better fit for you?
Yep.
Would be ABS.
Even looking down the road, when you say you want to work with.
Well, I'm not saying that I want to work with them. I'm saying we might have to if we can't find a good partner. I'd like to work with Marco probably on the TriCaster, or not TriCaster, the cable cast. There's too many casts in this world. The cable cast and the carousel. We can work with Marco on that. This is a company that exclusively does that kind of thing. Actually, both of them are. They are in broadcast automation. ABS is who Jerry worked with for years. He actually steered us to them many years ago. So, but we'll see what
thoughts on that?
Personally, I am.
Exactly, yeah.
$19.
Yeah. So it's who you want to work with?
Yep.
Who do you feel comfortable with, EDS?
For the TriCaster, ABS, definitely.
And this is something we really need, and we can expend the dollars if we want it.
Yep.
So anybody make a motion to present this as a recommendation to the city council? That we purchase this and then discuss it. Can we have a motion second?
I'll make a motion, as you worded it.
Okay,
Second.
second. Okay, you got that, Thor and motion made by Thor. One question I have on that, so if this purchase on the PEG fees, and it's located at the high school, who's gonna maintain it? Is it gonna be belong to the city?
It will be a grant back to the school, and it will be the school's property. So,
Or the school will then own the equipment and then they
I
will be?
believe, I would be more comfortable working these future relationships, especially for equipment that goes to the school. They're gonna be responsible for it when it's on their property, so it's gonna be part of their inventory. So this would be a reimbursement request to them for their purchase of their equipment.
Okay,
So,
Now, back in the day, when we purchased something for